Cruise Highlights, a Cruisin With Ted video production featuring travel TV personality Denella Richard and Ted Karbowski, cruisinwithted.com.
Hello everybody, this is Cruisin With Ted, and we have another cruisinwithted.com presentation. Today we're featuring river cruising highlights with Denella Richard, okay? And so let's get started. Now, we're gonna have a talk with Denella. First of all, we're gonna cover Denella's world, then we're gonna have question and answers, and then we're gonna wrap up today, okay? And again, this is Ted Karbowski, Cruisin With Ted. And let's talk a little bit about Denella. Let's go ahead here. So first of all, we're going to play this video. We may not have you there, Denella?
I am here.
Okay. We may not have audio on this, but since it's Denella's little short video, she may fill in for us if you can't hear it. All right, here we go. Go ahead.
Sure. So here's the video that you guys are seeing is the sizzle reel for my television show, Traveling with Denella Richard. And many of you that may know me, from the years I worked in the industry. So I used to work for Holland America Line. I worked for Norwegian Cruise Line. And then when COVID-19 hit, as it changed many people's world, it also changed my world. And it was having to lay off a team of over 40 people. But during that transition, there was also the reinvention of Traveling with Denella. And we launched a television show in the middle of COVID that is now nationally syndicated on ABC, CBS, NBC, on American Forces Network in 168 countries. As well as streaming on like Go Traveler, GFN TV, and several other places. But the gist of that video, Ted, just tells you that I made a career traveling the world. And now I've traded in my business suit for a swimsuit. And so
Okay.
That's what you find me instead of being at like Cruise World and conferences representing one of the brands and talking about the latest cruise ship. You now find me having the opportunity to travel all around the world. And instead of just talking about some of the big ships, like with some of the big brands I used to work with when I worked corporate, I now get a chance to talk about everybody's ship. So I'm excited to be on with you today. And we're going to be talking about river cruising. So,
all right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's hold on a second here. So, Denella, I understand you have made quite a career out of traveling the world. But what would you say first inspired you to make a living out of doing what some of us, including myself, only dream of?
Well, when I was in college, so my first degree, my bachelor's degree is in television. But I had an opportunity to go and study abroad in Harare, Zimbabwe. And that was my first international bug. And when I came back from studying abroad for a semester, went on to graduate with my degree in television, and I worked in Dallas, Texas for a television production company called Sky TV. And we used to produce different television shows, one of which was a travel show for United Airlines. But I used to work as one of the production managers on that show. And I would send producers and the hosts all over the world. But I always was back at the office, back at the studio, like, man, I wish I was traveling too. So after spending a few years in the role as production manager, I ended up having an opportunity to actually go into the travel industry. And I was recruited to go to work as an expat in Brussels, Belgium, where I launched a travel company there. So spent 3 years living in Europe, living in Brussels, spending a lot of time in Amsterdam, London, different parts of Germany, and just really fell in love with it. But that opportunity to go and live and work in Europe, changed the trajectory of my career from television, and I entered the travel industry. After spending 3 years working in Europe, when I came back, I had a chance to go to work for one of the biggest names in travel. I was recruited to go to work for Hilton Worldwide, where I was on the global marketing team, and I was on the team that launched the Hampton brand internationally, launching it in Canada, Europe, Latin America. And after spending almost 7 years with Hilton, I then got an opportunity to go into the cruise industry. So I went to work for Norwegian Cruise Line. And I was brought to Norwegian when they were changing from 2,500 passenger ships to 4,000 passenger ships. I was brought in as part of that epic team. So when that ship came out, and then we introduced the breakaway class ships. So that's when I came over to Norwegian. And so went to work for them for several years, and then had the opportunity to later go on to work for Carnival Corp and Holland America Line as well.
Some, as I mentioned before, this may be the perfect dream job. Is it all fun and excitement? What is it really like to be a travel diva like yourself?
Well, you know, it definitely has. It's definitely fun. I mean, traveling the world, it can be a bit stressful, getting there sometimes and getting back home, but we definitely have fun along the way. So I absolutely enjoy it. Having a chance, on any given day of the week, at least 2 weeks out of every month, we're in a different destination filming someplace exciting. We just came back from Curacao less than 48 hours ago. So I think absolutely travel is fun. I think you also would agree. It's one of those, it's a career that many people would desire to have. Wouldn't you agree, Ted?
I would agree very much so. I was just on a cruise myself, and I did put a lot of work in on board, doing a lot of interviews and such. So, but it was lovely. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. It is a dream job, but it's not for everybody. It does involve some hard work and dedication and intention to get the word out there. Because you could be doing all this traveling and stuff, but if you don't have the right media and the people behind you, you're the only one that knows about it, right?
That's right. It's a lot of work that goes into it. On any given day, a lot of people look at our television show and wonder how much work really goes into it. We have about 20 different people that touch my show before it's finalized.
Wow. Okay. That is quite something. So let's talk about river cruising, okay?
Yes.
Which river cruise lines have you experienced, and how would you best describe this type of travel to those who have not yet tried it?
So I had a chance to sail with AMA Waterways. I was recently with Riverside Luxury Cruises, and I also had a chance to sail with AQV, American Queen Voyages. I have to tell you, as I mentioned, I came from a background working for the big brands. So for Norwegian Cruise Line and also Carnival Corp, Holland America brand, where we're talking about, ships 2,000 and up, 2,000, 4,000 passengers. So when I was asked to film a river cruise and experience it, honestly, I didn't really know what to expect. And I have to tell you, I was pleasantly surprised. And river cruising is my number one favorite way to cruise now, hands down. I mentioned before that I lived in Europe. So river cruising in Europe, I love that it's like a moving hotel, and you're able to just pull up, into the city center and just walk off the ship, and it's there for an extended stay, so you can come and go as you please. And then once you start sailing, I just love being able to sit in the main common areas where you can sit and listen to music and take in the views. And I fell in love with river cruising. If anyone asks my opinion, and when they're contemplating which ship should they choose, if Europe is on their list, then I'm definitely recommending a river cruise.
Okay. And I have a picture here showing a link which you can scan to your Danube River cruise. Tell me a little bit more about this production that you did on the Danube.
Yes, we worked with AMA Waterways. Here we were on the AMA Sonata, and we were sailing the Danube. So we had a chance to visit Austria, Slovakia, Germany, Hungary. Just, had a chance to really take in some of these amazing destinations. As you can see right there, I think on that particular picture, I think I was in Austria, and we were out on deck doing a little bit of exercising and taking in some of the views while we broke out a sweat.
All right, thank you. Which is your favorite river on which to cruise, and when would you say is the best time to visit?
Now, that's a trick question, Ted. Is there really a favorite? So, of course, you just showed the shot, and we talked a little bit about the Danube. Definitely enjoy sailing the Danube. But I've also had an opportunity to sail the Rhine and also the Rhone. And I sailed the Rhone in the south of France. And I got to tell you, I was pleasantly surprised and really enjoyed sailing the Rhone, having a chance to visit like Strasbourg, France, which is where you'll find, the home of the European Union is there. Also visiting places like Lyon and Arles and some of those cute little French towns and even having a chance, we also even had a chance when I was with Riverside Luxury Cruises while sailing the Rhone. We did a stop at Châteauneuf-du-Pape, and they have a signature event that is so special. I don't know if many of you have heard of Châteauneuf-du-Pape, but that is known as like the Pope's wine. And so there you'll find this beautiful, amazing vineyard. I always wanted to visit Châteauneuf-du-Pape, and to have the chance to do a wine tasting there was really, really special. So when you ask me, do I have a favorite? Oh, certain times of year, I love the Danube. Then there are other times I love the Rhone. Then there are other times I love the Rhine. So
okay. I understand.
Yes, but depending on your schedule and when you want to go. But I would definitely say if you've always wanted to visit the Christmas markets, then during the holiday season, whether it's the Danube or the Rhine, great time to visit. If you're looking more towards those summer warmer months, anywhere from May on up to September, then maybe you do want to choose the Rhone in the south of France. It's a great itinerary to experience then. And then of course, the Rhine. You just can't go wrong. River cruising, depending on when you're wanting to go and what you're doing, you can find something year round.
All right, thank you. Now I see you have discovered the association between fine cuisine, food and wine, and river cruising. You mentioned some of the different cruises you've been on. Tell me about some of the unique culinary adventures in store for river cruises out there.
There are a variety, and on that particular shot that we're looking at right there, I was in Austria, and we were in the Wackel Valley, as they say, and we were at a vineyard, an apricot vineyard, or some may say apricot. And so they made this amazing apricot wine that is absolutely unbelievable. And what's interesting, ever since we shot there, I have been trying to find this wine again, order it online, anywhere, but the only way you can get it is to go back there and visit. So guess what? I'm going to be booking a river cruise back to visit, back on the Danube, just so that I can go to the Wackel Valley to experience the apricot vineyard again.
All right. Which river cruise itineraries do you feel are the best for new river cruises? Let's say if, a lot of people that I work with, they've been on ocean cruises. They may not have cruised before, but any suggestions there? Again, that might be hard to, pick the best, but tell me, what do you think?
Oh, Oh gosh, I mean, I think the Rhine or the Danube, it's easy enough. I like the Rhine, that usually runs from Amsterdam to Basel. So if you're a first time cruiser, Amsterdam is a great introduction to river cruising because you can fly into Schiphol, take the train or take a taxi on down to the city center, and it's easy to just hop on the ship and cruise. So I would say, the Rhine or even the Danube, either one, quite frankly. River cruising is just so easy. So either one, you can't go wrong.
Okay. And tell us about this picture here that we're looking at.
So that particular picture there, we were actually doing a bike riding tour in Vienna. So that's one of the things about river cruising that I love is that, there are bikes on board, they're complimentary. So when you go into a port, if you're comfortable riding a bike, then I highly recommend, doing a bike tour because it really gives you a chance to see a different side of the city, more intimate. You can take your time and just bike and cruise along, if you will. So for me, I always bike ride when I river cruise. Plus, after all that good food, you need to burn off some calories.
No, I understand. When I was on Emma Waterways on the Danube cruise, my brother went with me. And at the time, he was not so much able to walk around. He was about to get some kind of hip surgery or something. He couldn't walk around much. So when we were in Dernstein, I had him go on a bike tour, which worked out very well for him because it was very comfortable for him to go around the bike. So no matter what your medical condition is, as long as you can walk off the boat, they do have excursions for you, different levels of endurance and being able just to walk around. So that don't worry about that, okay?
Absolutely. And of course, Ted, those excursions are included in the cruise, so it's not like some cruise experiences where you're having to pay extra. It's all a part of your river cruise.
And that's a great point, Denella, because from my experience, different cruise lines offer different inclusions. So some of them may offer one excursion every port. Some of them, Emma Waterways offers multiple excursions, and Uniworld also does that. So depending on what you want to include, that's where we come in to help you, Cruisin' with Ted, choosing which are the best cruise lines that fit your needs.
Exactly. And like you said, you can do more than one. So you can do a morning tour, and then you can also do an afternoon tour.
Now, Denella, I understand that you were once affiliated with major travel companies and cruise lines. Please share your experience and tell us how this helps you with your current position as a travel personality, I would say. I'm trying to figure out, what is the name of your position? Travel personality? What do you call yourself?
Executive producer and travel host.
Okay, all right, that works for me. Go ahead.
Yes, so as I mentioned, my background, I held senior leadership roles with several companies in the travel industry, in the cruise side of the business. I worked for Norwegian Cruise Line, and then I also worked for Holland America Line. So as you can see, that's me. And as you can see, that was December of 2018. And we were introducing the new Stadendam back then. So that's me at Cruise World. So, so I have a background in the industry. And I'm gonna tell you, it's very important because one of the things that I've noticed, there are a lot of different social media people that are popping up on the scene, and they're like, oh, I have a travel show, and I traveled to 10 different countries, so that makes me an expert. No, there are people like you, Ted, like myself, and we've built a career in this industry. And that's important because, we have the inside knowledge, but even more important, we have the network and we have the credibility of the people who know us, who trust us when we work with them and with their brands. And that's very important.
I agree. I myself started out at Carnival Cruise Lines. That was one of my first jobs. You know, the guys on board, they have to put the suntan lotion on the girls in the bikinis. That was one of my first jobs. No, not really, but you have to start somewhere. No, I was an agent there for years. I was one of their top agents out of 1,000. I worked for Norwegian Cruise Lines. I worked for travel companies. I've gone when I used to work for Carnival Cruise Lines. Sometimes people had trouble, getting to the port, or they had one of these scooters. I let them park over. I'm here in Fort Lauderdale. Sometimes I let them park overnight, and I help drive them in, and I put their scooter together before they go on the cruise.
Oh, wow.
I mean, there's nothing that I haven't done. Okay. But yes, you're right. It is some of these things that sets us apart from the rest. And all my agents, Mary Pat, you're here today. Did you want to say something about that? She's on mute. So Shelley, she's still on mute. Shelley, you're on mute.
There we
too.
go.
Okay. Mary Pat, you've been around to how many countries?
65.
65 countries.
And like you, Denella, I was living in Europe. I had the opportunity to live in Germany for 18 years. So I traveled every opportunity, every minute that wasn't filled with work or family, we were on the road somewhere. So that's what drove me right to travel.
Awesome.
Like that, I was telling before we started, Denella, that Johnny Cash song, "I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere." One of my favorites.
Definitely.
But, yeah, Mary Pat's been everywhere.
Close.
So, but it travels a lot of fun, and we do what we love to do. So, what could be better than that, right?
That's it. Absolutely.
All right, let's see if we can hit you with some really tough questions here. What interesting people, besides myself, Cruisin With Ted, of course, and celebrity, I'm not interested. What interesting people, celebrities or otherwise, have you had the opportunity to meet in your travels?
Well, other than you cruising with Ted, wow, I don't know. A few people may recognize this lady. And it's interesting because the last slide that you showed was me in front of the billboard announcing the new Dom. Well, that year in 2018, the godmother of the new Dom was this amazing lady, Oprah Winfrey. So I had a chance to meet her, and this is the two of us on New Dom. And we were having photo op moments, and I had on this beautiful gold dress that you see in the picture. And it has this long train that's like this African print. So as I took my photo with her, and I'm walking away with my beautiful African print dress, and she goes, "Oh my God, I love that dress. Get back here." So when I went back, I turned around and I did this because at the time the movie Black Panther was out, and it was up for an Oscar nomination. And
wow.
So, yes. And so when I did that, she said, "Wakanda forever." I said, "Yes, Wakanda forever." And she said, "Get back here and come take another picture with me."
Oh my God.
That was my special moment with Oprah Winfrey when she was godmother of the new Dom for Holland America.
I remember that. In fact, Holland America had a great affiliation with Oprah Incorporated, or whatever you call her.
We did. We had a partnership with O Magazine.
Mm-hmm,
and so right after she became godmother, we also had a girls' getaway cruise with Oprah and Gail. That cruise sold out in 48 hours.
Wow.
600 passengers booked in 48 hours. It was absolutely phenomenal.
Anyone else worth mentioning?
Oh, anyone else worth mentioning? I mean, come on. I mean, when you meet Oprah, that's kind of like that's the creme de la creme.
I'm sure Oprah tells the story about the time she met with Denella.
Yes, right.
Hi, Luke, I met Denella, right? Exactly. All right. Hold on a second here. All right. Could you share with us a few of your favorite river cruise destinations and which excursions are not to be missed? Which excursions? Maybe
Oh,
explain a little bit about how excursions work on river cruises, and also when you're on a river cruise day to day. You know, when you're at sea on the ocean, there's time in between. You're at sea. Tell us more about what it's like on river cruises and what to expect.
well, as we mentioned before, excursions are included as a part of your experience. So you don't have to worry about being nickeled and dimed. It's already a part of it. And before you board, you usually have an opportunity to pick the excursions that you want to participate in. And in some, depending on the port, you may have as many as 2 excursions a day. But what you will find with several of the river cruise lines is that they also have signature events or exclusive events. So, for example, with AMA Waterways, especially during like the October time frame around Oktoberfest, they have an authentic Oktoberfest celebration, like if you're sailing as part of their Danube and that Germany itinerary. So you'll get a chance, if you've never been to Oktoberfest, they create an Oktoberfest event for you. So you get a chance to, enjoy some of the local food, some of the local beer, like the Pilsner. And, I even got a chance to participate in and learn some of the local Oktoberfest dances. So that's pretty cool. And even with, like I said, Riverside Luxury Cruises, they also have their signature event. And one I mentioned earlier, like that Chateau Neuf de Pape, that is one of their very special signature events. So definitely when you're booking a cruise with Ted, and as you are thinking about your different excursions, look out for those exclusive, those signature events. Those are the ones that are really, really special.
Thank you so much. Now, Denella, tell us about your production crew who travel with you, what it takes to pull off your TV programs, how many people are involved. You brushed on that a little bit earlier. I mean, what goes into the final programs we see on television?
Yes, so when we hit the road, I travel, it's myself, my producer, and 2 videographers. One of the videographers, of course, who also operates the drones. So that's the team that travels with me and films with me all over the world. Now, when we come back, once we come back, we have a team of editors, depending on how many projects we have open. We have 4 different editors that we work with. And like right now, all 4 of them are busy working on television shows for us. So I have producers, editors, writers, and then we also work with the distributors and the syndicators, because once the show's approved between myself and the client, then we also have to get the shows to the various different television stations. So when you think about it, so when you see one of our shows, like I said, by the time we're done, there's anywhere from 15 to 20 different people that have reviewed and had a touch point with that show. Ted, when you said earlier, oh, but it's so much fun. Oh my God, it's so much fun, but it's a lot of stress. It's a lot of work, because when we film, so we do 2 types of shows. We have our weekly series, which is our 30-minute show. And then I also produce quarterly specials in national syndication, which are 1 hour. But the 30-minute shows without commercials is 22 minutes of content. But we actually film approximately 15 hours of footage to make up 22 minutes. Imagine that.
Wow, that is quite something. I used to be involved with film production myself. I used to be a grip in Hollywood for a in-house studio. So I've run cranes and I've driven grip trucks. So I know it's a lot of stress, because there's a lot of money involved too, rentals and such, and there's a time factor. People's time, everything costs money, so there's really no time to mess around when
everything costs money. And then when you have to get that final show to television stations, we just finished a 1 hour special. It got picked up, it was a holiday 1 hour special. It was picked up in 90 different markets. So Boston,
you.
Charlotte, Atlanta, Seattle, you name it. We have to get that show to all of those cities, 90 different cities, and you cannot miss a beat.
Okay, I see a question here. This is from Janice. Can anybody see the question? I just lost it, but
I
Shelley?
think it said, I saw it briefly, I think it said which cruises are good for singles.
Single travelers.
Yes, hi Janice. So hi. You know, Janice, one of the great things about river cruises is that they, you know, several of them, and Ted helped me along with this one, but many of them are now offering, you know, they have single supplements, but at no additional cost. So, you know, you can sail with just about all of them solo. And what I love about it is because river cruising, it's, I don't know, 200-300 people on board, depending on the ship. It's a small, intimate crowd, and you can fit in so well with everyone. You know, people will invite you to sit with them at dinner. Going on the tours, it's easy to mix in with everyone else. So river cruising, hands down, Janice, I can tell you, you can feel comfortable. I promise you, I would go on a river cruise by myself. I don't need anyone else to go with me because, I mean, just really an amazing experience, and you don't have to worry. The only thing I'll tell you, make sure you get your travel insurance though, okay? So when you book your cruise, make sure you do that part too.
Yeah, I've done a lot of traveling by myself, but the cruise, now that I'm retired, the cruise side of it is a new venture, or shall we say new venture in this area. I've done lots of cruises before, but they've been on the big lines and not doing that anymore. So I worked with Shelley. Hi, Shelley.
You're in for a treat with river cruising, and I promise you, I don't know if you're going to go back to big ship cruising once you experience river cruising.
Nope.
I just want to add, Janice, I've been on waterways that Denella is referring to as well, and they have different excursions every day for people of different abilities and interests. Some people are on a bike, some people are what they call gentle walkers and late risers and whatever. And so even if you're with somebody, you might be choosing a different tour. So every day, the tours that I was doing, there were so many people that were either half of a two or singles anyway, and you wouldn't even know the difference. So it's very comfortable.
And that's what it'll be like for the cruise that we're working with Shelley on right now. My sister is a gentle walker at best. My brother-in-law and I are hikers. So we'll be doing different tours together.
All right, thank you. A couple more questions here, okay? You still got some wind left in here, Denella?
I do.
Okay. What is in store for you and future travels, river cruising and otherwise? You mentioned something already, but go ahead.
Yeah, so we're actually going back to Europe. We'll be sailing the Med with Windstar. So we're looking forward to that. And then we're also going to go over to Tahiti with Windstar. So very excited about that. I've never been on board Windstar before. Ted, have you cruised with Windstar?
But Mary Pat has. Tell us a little bit about Windstar, Mary Pat.
I did the Med. It was about 5 or 6 years ago, and it was such a shock. Again, it's getting away from that huge cruise ship type of atmosphere, and it was just so much fun, and you felt pampered, and as people would look at this smaller ship with the sails and wonder who you were and what was going on there, something so different. So I loved it.
Well, I'm looking forward to it.
You mentioned Windstar, right, Denella? I have been on Windstar as a ship visit. They came to Miami.
Okay.
And I do have a YouTube video with my ship visit, because what they did with Windstar is which ship is it? You could have on? It's one of the.
Look at my itinerary. We just received it.
Okay, it's probably what they did is. These are existing ships, and then they stretched them. They took the front and the back and they cut in the middle, and they added sections to it. And then they added special rooms to it. So Windstar is it's a special yacht cruising type of cruise, but it's very luxurious, but it's not over the top luxury. So it's a little bit generational. Is that the word? But anyway, you'll love it.
Perfect,
Okay.
perfect.
And tell us about these pictures here of Travel Weekly. It looks like you've been featured when you were with Holland America.
Yes, so as you can see, that's the star-studded team. When I was at Holland America, you'll probably recognize some of these people. You have Eva Jenner, Charlie Dunwoody. You guys know Charlie, remember Charlie from the industry? Rob Coleman is the current head of sales for Holland America line. So that's some of our team from around, like I said, 18, 19, around that period. So that was us on the cover of Travel Weekly.
Okay, and how can our viewers find and watch your travel programs?
So depending on which city they're in, if you're West Coast, like in Seattle, we're on NBC on Saturday nights, right before Saturday Night Live on King 5. In Miami, South Florida market, we're on Sundays on the CW network at 10 a.m. And easiest thing to do is check me out at Traveling with Denella on Instagram. In our link tree, you can find out the different cities where you can watch the show. And if we're not broadcasting in your city, then you can also stream us at Go Traveler or GFN TV. Those are our two streaming partners. And we'll be on Tubi starting in March. So you'll also be able to watch Traveling with Denella there. And lastly, we're actually, if you're flying on Kuwait or Turkish Airways, we're on there right now as well.
Oh,
Excellent. And then you see the slide here? It shows how to scan the stream episodes. See that?
Perfect. Yes. So you can just scan right there.
And you can watch a lot of these episodes right there with or without the streaming services. Anything else you'd like to share with our viewers?
Only thing else I want to share is I mentioned it a little bit earlier. I tell everyone, wherever we go and whenever my production team and I step out, we don't go anywhere without travel insurance. So that travel insurance is very important. A lot of people don't want to pay the extra money for it, but always make sure your clients are getting the travel insurance, because it is absolutely worth it as we're out here traveling the world. But apart from that, catch up on our Traveling with Denella episodes. Like I said, binge watch us on Go Traveler, GFN TV, or Tubi.
Okay, any of our agents there want to make a comment on travel insurance or otherwise? Go ahead.
Well,
Mary Pat or
Mary
Shirley?
Pat's unmuting, so I will just say, yes, highly recommended. I'd like to say that I don't allow my guests to go anywhere without it, but I can't quite go that far. But we do highly encourage it. You never know what's going to happen.
absolutely. It's the don't leave home without it type of thing. And clients that are doing multiple trips throughout the year, I encourage them to take out the annual policy, because it turns out it would be a savings versus insuring each separate trip. But please don't leave home without it.
Exactly. And another little nugget, Ted, I recently discovered a company called MedJet. And for $400 a year, if anything happens while you're traveling, they'll send a private jet and get you from whatever country in the world and fly you home.
Yes.
So I highly recommend for anybody that's out there traveling a lot on a regular basis, get MedJet. It's worth the investment.
Yes, definitely.
When I started out at Carnival Cruise Lines, one of the hardest things to sell was travel insurance. So I used to tell people we have Plan A and Plan B. Plan A is the travel insurance we have with Carnival. Plan B is the travel insurance that if you have a heart attack or something, they'll strap you to the back of a dolphin and point you to the nearest hospital. Which would you prefer? I think I'll get Plan A.
Exactly. It's just so worth it. I'm sure we all could exchange stories of people who they were glad they had it, because when something comes up, you will be glad you have it. Yes.
What is this travel show you're on here?
So this was the Los Angeles Times travel show. So this was a few years back at Los Angeles Times, and the moderator was actually, you guys, I think you know Michelle Fee. And then on that panel with me was like Vicky Tomasino, who was from Carnival. Ted, you probably remember Vicky. You probably
Right.
worked together. And then also in one of those photos is Brian from Princess. Also on that shot, on that photo with me.
All right. We do have a YouTube channel where we'll be showing this video. You can scan that, go to our YouTube channel. And what's your YouTube channel? Do you have one, Denella?
So no, because we're nationally syndicated, my YouTube channel is private just for reviewing shows with clients. But like I said, you can definitely find us on Go Traveler, GFN TV, and some of those other places that you showed earlier.
All right, we'll certainly post this video here, and maybe we'll have you back for another one.
Perfect.
If we treated you okay on this one.
Yes, would love to.
All right, then for hold on, let me go the other way. 1 second. And I just wanted to thank you for watching. You can go to cruisinwithted.com. That's our website, and there's our phone number. And then if you want to, meet with any of our agents, talk to them, just go through me and ask for Mary Pat or Shelly. I really want to thank you, Denella, for spending the time, and for all the people out there watching. Thank you for watching. It's been a very lovely experience, and we also hope that you'll follow Denella and her future programs, and make sure you take the opportunity to watch some of her shows. They're amazing. Thank you so much, everybody. Bye. Cruisin' with Ted, signing out.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Signing out. All right, bye.
Thank you for watching. To stream Denella's travel shows, scan the QR code here. Scan this QR code to watch her Danube River Cruise episode. To start planning your next cruise with Ted, scan here. Don't forget to save Ted's travel website to your favorites. Don't forget to subscribe to Cruisin' with Ted's YouTube channel.